So,
Alright,
we're good to go.
Just tell me when I'm good, if anybody has the time.
Are you just going to rush into it?
Well, I'm reginist. Wait, I'm wearing a Beatles shirt. Alright. Anyway, I'm Andrew Riley. I'm running for CTF Admin. I've run before. That was during the emergency election. Obviously, things were a lot more tense. Now, this is like going to a new semester. It's not an emergency. So I feel like CTF's on a good foot right now. And so continuing from that, I think that I can keep it on a good pace, going upwards. Like, I think there's been a huge increase in quality of the games and stuff. I've really enjoyed it. I know a lot of players who've been going have really enjoyed every single game that we put on this semester. I've now been a mod under 3 different administrations and have been playing CTF for I think 4 semesters. And I've been in UGL for every semester that I've been here, and I'm a junior now. So I've definitely seen how it's run. I've participated actively in every administration and put forth ideas. I also am really good with responding to players and how they see the game going, and if they think that we need to like do something, like if the teams are unbalanced or if like a game is unbalanced. I'm really good about communicating that to the admins, and becoming an admin, I'd be really good at observing that, also communicating with my mods, because we're all like kind of just running the game. So communication skills, I do have a mod staff in mind, but I haven't asked them yet. It would probably include the 2 candidates who are also running right now, just because if anybody out there like is actively showing that they want to be a leader in CTF, I respect that, and I think that that makes a good mod. So if you really want to know my stance, I already have a video out there from the other election and stuff. I'd rather just answer questions because I know there were a lot last time, and I don't want to waste any time. Yes?
You said CTF is going upwards. Could you elaborate on upwards? Because that's kind of a broad general term.
It at the end of last semester and the beginning of this, it was kind of shaky because of what had been happening with the admin, and there was just like a lot of unrest. And then the emergency election happened, and we elected a new admin, and everything is fine again. Like, the admin is actually dedicated to the game, and there's like active involvement going into the games and stuff.
So you define upwards as involvement in the game and the admin's ability.
Also quality of the game.
Okay.
Yes, Spivey?
The ever-present problem is getting people to CTF.
Oh, well, yeah, go for it.
Wasn't done. If you say flyers, I will throw something.
No, it's not flyers. Actually, I've done this before, but the Scramble Light groups are always there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that hard to both rent it, get like a little tent thing, so like draws the eye. And like CTF is colorful already, because you got blue and red. Those are some pretty colorful colors. Get the flags there, get a cool setup, like have the socks there, have like little blasters on display, say, this is what we use, it's a fun game. Have people from UGL, just anyone, show up and like represent and show that we're a diverse group. We're normal people too, like we go to classes and stuff and just hang out. And that CTF is really relaxed. So I feel like that's a really good way to like show people, like live people in the flesh, like interested in CTF. And I think that would draw other people saying, wow, that sounds like a cool thing. Yes, Jules?
CTF probably, I don't know if I want to say suffer, but the gameplay is more influenced perhaps than any other UGL game just by rampant trolling and, quote, not giving a shit of many of the people that play. You okay with that? You against it? You deal with it?
I think that every situation has a certain line, and it's really up to the situation, like where I would gauge that line.
Do you want to give us an example, perhaps?
Yeah, like last game when you and Dustin were lifting up your shirts and rubbing your chests. If we were getting new members that were interested in the game, I wouldn't want that to be the representation of that game for those new players when they don't know any of us or how we act. So I understand that CTF is one of the most relaxed in terms of how we behave. I'm not trying to be like the behavior police or anything. I just kindly ask people, like think of how you're represented in the game. Other questions, or did I address that in the satisfactory manner?
Although I will say in my defense, my shirt never came above the mid-draft.
Sarah, right?
You said that you had been modding over 3 different administrations and given plenty of ideas. Can you give examples of said ideas?
Okay, one of them was for the tournament. You remember the tournament, right?
Yes.
I was very adamant about how I thought the tournament should be ran in terms of how we dated it, how we advertised it, got the word out, that kind of thing. I was the one who pitched Backyard Day even though that never happened, I was really bummed. I really want to make that happen though, because it's a great idea. It would basically be like a big quadrant of campus, like outside play, and it would have multiple flags and new game ideas, and just things like that. Yeah, and also game modes. I've pitched a few. Garrett's heard them. Dustin heard a game mode. I think it might have been the same one I gave to Garrett, because I don't think it was ever realized. But yeah, and I'm also really receptive to hearing things too. Like, I want to be able to take people's feedback and ideas and be able to put it out there so people can like play games that people think of. All right, any other questions? Yes, Jules?
You were saying before all about how a great way that we can advertise CTF is just the fact that the red and the blue were such a colorful game already.
Yeah.
What are you going to do for people like me and Eric Goff where it's not a game of red versus blue, but gray versus gray?
I'll get green and yellow.
Also won't help.
Purple and... What if I just make it black and white?
That would do it.
All right.
That's not colorful at all.
It's
those
true.
are- those
That
are
is
confused.
actually more of an issue because of the... But I digress. Spivey?
I think this came up last time, but in case people don't go watch that video. At times you play devil's advocate and can be argumentative, and not necessarily so much in the game, but in the game as far as pushing players away with that, and also on the exec board. I mean, where do you draw the line with it being too much?
I understand that being like administration on an exec board, it is an issue. Like, if I were the only one having a problem, but nobody else was agreeing with me, I understand that at a certain point it's time to drop an issue. But for me, I just want to represent the players and the overall well-being of the exec board. I understand that Tier 1 games have one vote, so it's important to represent players and their best interests. But at the same time, like,